Ngoja ndakupatia uchukue tuende kwa feature, lakini umesikiliza msemo unaosema chokochoko mchokonoepweza binadamu hutomweza. Sawa, tuende kwa feature.
All right, thank you so very much for staying with us. We do want to continue with our feature, learning so much about value addition in milk. As we continue, we'll get to unpack more about the role of the young people in agriculture, and we'll also answer the question on whether technology is taking away employment. That and more in our continuation, starting now. To know when milk comes in here, when it has been brought in by the tankers, do you sample that milk? Do you test it? How is that process like?
Yes, we before we unload milk, we test it, because of course we test for the components in the milk, the components of the fat, the protein, the other solids. But most importantly, before we take milk from one place to another place, we want to be ensured that there's no things like antibiotics or any other more serious things within the milk that would prevent us from unloading the milk. So that's another way we manage the risk, by testing right before the milk is unloaded from a tanker. Is this milk okay? Does it meet all quality parameters? And also then use it for testing the components.
Right.
Of the milk.
Just in case you taste the milk and you find something that is not right, there's antibiotics or something. What do you do with that milk?
That milk would be disposed of, or it would be often used to feed to animals. So very little milk is ever dumped. That's terrible when we have to do that. Mainly we can feed it back to animals. Right.
Does your milk, all of it that you get here, that you're processing here, come from the same breed of cow? Or you can have some milk from Holstein, you can have some milk from Jersey. How does it work? And does it give you the same quality of final product?
Every dairy farmer is different. Dairy farmers have personal choices, or they've learned to manage a particular herd very well. We have a high level of Jersey cow, or crossbred, so it's taking two breeds and making, in theory, the perfectly productive cow. So it depends on dairy farmer, but it's all in the pursuit of what is the right balance between how much milk the cow produces, what the components of that milk is, and what you have to feed that cow to get that. So it's an entire economic equation, really, of inputs and outputs, and cost of cow, of course, and what makes the most sense in that regard. So we have a high proportion of Jersey and Jersey crossbreds.
Right. But if a farmer has Holstein, you'll still process it?
Yeah, all our milk comes from our owner group, so our owner group is predominantly Jersey or Jersey crossbreds. But of course, the milk is really the same, just the amount of components, the level of components, the level of fat and protein may be lower in a Holstein.
Right. Let's talk about your contribution on making sure that you're also taking care of the environment and the ecosystem as well. We all know with processing and running such big spaces like this, where a lot of work is being done in value addition, there's also a lot of chances of releasing, waste to the environment that can be harmful. So what do you do to make sure that at the end of the day, you're not only value adding the milk, but you are also taking care of the environment that we're living in?
We think of sustainability as an all-encompassing thing. It's about how we do business from start to finish. Our purpose for being is to add value to milk for generations. So add value to our owners' milk, but do it for the longer term, for generations. We only do that by looking after the environment, looking after our people, looking after our animals, and looking after the community we're part of. That's true sustainability. From an environmental standpoint, the dairy industry, and I think the dairy industry in Idaho and our owners would be as good as any dairy farmers anywhere in terms of using scale, efficiency, responsible management as a way to lower the footprint through getting more from less. So getting more from that cow,
Right.
using that cow in a way that the cow is comfortable.
Right.
So happy cows produce lots of milk. So it's not just a right thing to do to keep cows happy, it's also an economically sensible thing to do too.
Because you'll get more milk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a win-win if there's ever there was one. And of course, then we manage the manure, the cow manure, through putting the manure through methane digesters. So it takes the manure, it lowers the footprint, the economic or the environmental footprint of the manure, but then creates gas from it.
Right.
So it creates natural gas or other products, also bedding, a fertilizer and other byproducts of that process.
Right.
So it's taking the manure and creating value out of the manure too.
Right.
So it's all about, can you take every single part of what we do and create some value out of it? If you do that, you have an economically sustainable business, and you're also creating a more environmentally sustainable business.
Plus you are recycling your water too.
Oh, the water is the ultimate recycling story.
Yeah, that's very huge.
So we take all the water out of the milk, and we don't take water from the city to wash our plant. We just use the cow water. And then the wastewater that is created out of that process, we treat it and we send it to the city, and they clean it, and then they give it back to us as well.
So you also send the water to the city?
Then, yes.
They clean it, recycle it?
Yeah, so when we use the water from the cow's milk once, the next day, and then when we put it through cleaning, we treat it, and then and the city then treat it further and create clean water out of the wastewater we send them.
Yeah, I was very fascinated to see how it's working at the packaging space, the technology there, making sure that all those bags are packed. It has, of course, improved efficiency, all right? So just talk to us a lot more on how it makes work easier as compared if you had so many people there in the packaging store doing that work. If you compare those two scenarios, what can you say about that?
Well, you remember the packaging area, and you have the bags coming through, and there's a metal detector, and then there's a stamp that goes on the bag, and then there's a robot that stacks the pallets, and then there's the palletizer. There's one person operates that entire area on a shift, and without all those various steps and the automation and equipment that's involved in those, you could have 20 people in that one place.
Right.
And it'd be 20 people with hard work. So a good thing with automation is that it's taken some of the harder work away. So instead of people lifting bags, they're sitting in the control room with a computer and monitoring the system and the analytics around the system and ensuring performance by looking at a computer rather than lifting bags. So it is not only remove some very hard work, it's also transformed the nature of the work to be more value add too.
Right. I want to challenge you with something.
Sure.
There's someone somewhere who will sit down and think, oh, you see, this technology has made 19 other people not get jobs because now you only need one person in this room. And sometimes it's a bit of a double-edged sword when you're talking about how technology is making work easy in agriculture, because they're feeling like jobs are now getting minimal human labor. What would you say about that? Are there opportunities for people in the technology space that would still allow them get employed and make money?
Yeah, so it's transformed the nature of work. We are producing more with less, so productivity is increasing. The nature of the work is changing, and because the nature of the work is changing, the type of work is more valuable. It's more economically viable. It's better for people. So, I mean, we also operate in a low unemployment environment. If there was very high unemployment, I'd accept that argument that, okay, we could have someone doing a job that a machine is doing. But we have to be very good to attract people to come and work with us because we compete with other companies for people. So as long as there's still a shortage of people to work in jobs, I think the argument that we're somehow taking jobs away is even less. So I think there's an argument one way or another that increasing the nature of the work, increasing value from the work that is done is always a good thing.
All right. Would you say there is a growing demand for this value-added product? How is the consumption like?
Oh yeah, and the products that our products go into are in a lot of categories that are seeing continued growth. I mean, I would say mainly because dairy is healthy. Dairy is healthy and nutritious. Milk is a wonderful thing. What you can do with milk is extraordinary. It's a simple product that's been produced for hundreds or thousands of years, and yet we are still learning. Like, we are still learning so much about what we can do with the milk, how we can split it into further parts, how we can protect certain parts of the milk for more nutritious or even medicinal purposes. So I think there's huge future still in milk. But even the products today, protein beverages, for example, very strong demand and continuing demand. It fits very well with a healthy, active lifestyle, and it even supports weight loss programs. And you hear about GLP-1.
Yes.
Well, a protein beverage is the perfect friend to a GLP-1, really. And not just that, but it's just one example of that actually is fueling growth. Some people may have said that might have taken away.
Yeah.
It's actually added to the demand for our product. So we're operate here at maximum capacity.
Right.
So we can't process any more. We try to make ourselves more efficient and to process more with less.
Right.
So we get to choose to a certain extent what product segments we work in.
Right. Great. Now, as we wind up this conversation, first of all, thank you so much for the tour that you've taken us around this fantastic plant. I've learned so much. I just need you to speak to the different people in dairy across the world on why it's very important to explore value addition in milk, and also to make sure that they're using state-of-the-art technology like what we are seeing here at Idaho Milk Products.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, that's an easy one, really. I mean, our whole purpose for being, as I said at the beginning, is to add value to milk for generations. From my personal perspective, it's the easiest and most understandable purpose that I've ever worked with. That every decision every day is about how can we add more value to this milk, and how can we do it for the longer term. But if you think about an industry-wide perspective, all industries are under pressure. All industry have their challenges. All industry have their critics, and criticism is okay. Criticism makes us better, makes us think about what we're doing. But I really do believe dairy is so pure. It offers so much. It's a product that everybody everywhere in the world understands. And the exciting thing is that we are just getting started to a certain extent, but we have to continue to seek ways to do things better, more efficiently, and add value, and find the new properties in milk that can help in ways that we haven't even yet dreamed of. And those are there, and some of those are very active. And we are working on one at the moment that we can't talk about. That takes part of the milk and really says this is something that the world has not seen yet in this form. The world has seen milk, but it hasn't seen milk in all its forms and all it can do. So the world is still full of opportunities.
There's still more to unpack in milk.
And even at the very basic level, milk has always been a highly nutritious food. If you were asked, what is the one thing that you can have to survive on, milk is probably your best choice.
What's the one thing that you can have?
If you were given one product only, and I have to survive on this one product, what product would you pick? Well, you wouldn't pick a vegetable, you wouldn't pick a meat, you would pick a product that has fat and protein and carbohydrates and water in it, and you can live on milk.
You can live off milk.
Now that's some claim to be able to make. What other product can you think of? You say you can live on this.
Ice cream milk.
Well, ice cream.
Like the one
well, that'd be fun.
Like what you gave me. Right. So finally, do you take care of people who are lactose intolerant? There's so many people who.
Oh well, we certainly have products that are lower in lactose. So there is an enzyme that breaks down lactose in our product, and then it can be used for low lactose or zero lactose products.
So in short, every dairy product has lactose. It's just the levels that.
Yes. Every dairy product has something for everybody.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Dada, for speaking to us.
Very nice. Thank you for visiting us.
Oh no, we are so happy. We have learned so much. Thank you, and keep up the good job that you're doing here. I will be back next year when you have the ice cream out.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'll be back for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Ahadi ni deni. Mwaka unaokuja kwenda Marekani tena.
Yeah, tunabebana na wewe uende ongea Kizungu. Kwa mimi niliongea Kiswahili Tanzania.
So unapiga revenge. Sawa basi ni kile ambacho kimenifurahisha ni kwamba watu ni wachache kuliko ng'ombe kule.
Yep. There are more cows than people. That's the interesting part about dairy farming in Idaho. Now with that, we're taking our second break right now. But when we come back, we're going to be giving you more details on what to look forward to from our trip in Tanzania and more. See you after this break. We are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And at this particular moment, of course, we do want to have that conversation that we always have with our farmers every single day here on the program, giving you tips on what you need to do to make sure that you are growing in the agricultural sector. Terero, unaambia wakulima wafanye nini?
Nakushukuru sana, kwanza umenirusha kwa kutumia lugha ya Kiswahili. Wale wakulima ambao hapo nyumbani, itakuwa raha kabisa ukijiunga na mashirika ya wakulima. Kubwa zaidi ni kufanikishwa kile ambacho tunasema udhamini mkubwa kupitia benki ya cooperative. Wapo unatafuta mikopo, itakuwa raha sana ukwenda utafute mikopo mbalimbali. Naomba watajie mikopo basi.
Alright, so in case you do want to improve the machinery in your farm, umeona leo katika feature yetu ya leo we are talking about value addition, and of course that requires heavy machinery. What you can do is get a loan that we do call asset financing. Whether you're trying to buy a car to transport your produce, whether you're trying to buy your small machine ya kufanya value addition yako pale nyumbani, when you get asset financing, a loan from Cooperative Bank, you're able to improve the machinery in your farm. And also, please, farmer, remember to be part of a cooperative society. Join hands with other farmers, because when you are in a cooperative society, that's when you stand a higher chance of getting this financial support that we are talking about from Cooperative Bank. So join hands with other farmers and be part of a society. And you only need to be about 10 members. Yes. So kama mimi na wewe, we only need 8 more people. Na tuko sawa, si ndio? All right, there you go.
Waswahili wanasema kitu kimoja, papo kwa papo kamba ulikatajiwe.
I've told you I don't need any more Kiswahili for the next 2 weeks. Please and thanks. All right. I'm sanitizing. Like I'm telling you, I was traumatized and you're traumatizing me some more. And I know someone somewhere is wondering, what's
sasa
really...
ngoja nikuongeze hiyo traumatizing kwa Kiswahili, tunaita kihoro.
You don't listen, do you? You don't listen, do you? But I learned something, and I found that very courteous. Like when you say hi to someone, ukinipata hapa kazi nafanya kazi, usikuje tu kuniambia ngina sasa, alafu anze kuniambia chini unataka. You come and tell me ngina kwema, and then I respond kwema, and then you tell me pole kwa majukumu. That was so nice.
Sasa jana nimetumia wakati napigia dereva moja, nikamwambia pole sana kwa siku ya leo, kuna kuwepo na machovu, lakini kila laheri kwa shughuli, njoo tuende nyumbani.
So moving forward, I will always tell you, Terera, kwema, pole kwa majukumu. I found that very nice. Now we do want to wrap
Kenya
up.
hakuna hiyo.
No, we need to embrace that culture. Si tu unafika hapo wewe msee cheki nilikuwa nataka hivi. Yo. All right. So as we wrap up the program, of course we had a farm joke question of the day, and today we were asking you what looks like half a butterfly. Terer. What looks like half a butterfly?
Wapi kwa shamba?
Yes, it helps in pollination. It's an insect. It looks like half a butterfly.
Ngoja. Nyuki.
It's an insect.
Nyuki.
It looks exactly like half a butterfly. Exactly like half a butterfly.
Sijui kweli.
And the answer is, where is it? The other half. Guys, I told you, it looks exactly. Yeah.
Pole sana. Naomba msamaha kwa sababu singefikiria hivyo. Ni wind up. Sasa mtazamaji, asante sana kwa kutufuatilia tangu zindua hadi sasa. Tunakamilisha tukifurahi sana, na nafurahi kwamba utaenda kununua kamusi sasa na usome Kiswahili kwa sababu wanasema Waswahili Kiswahili kinapachana pacha kila kukicha.
All right.
Nahitimisha.
Let me pretend that I've understood what you've said.
Sasa nahitimisha hivyo nikisema hivi, salia na Mwenyezi Mungu, kumbuka tatimiza ndoto tu, tafaulu sana. Jina langu ni Emmanuel Terrell.
All right, so just to wind up and to remind anyone who's curious to find out why were we in Tanzania, we were learning so much about the grape value chain, yani zabibu. And I want to ask you a question. Do you know that grapes actually do well in areas that don't receive rainfall?
Okay.
Yes, no? Did you know that?
Sikujua.
All right, and there's so much more that you do not know about grapes, but from next week on Monday, we will be unpacking what we found in Tanzania. Now, we'll see you again tomorrow with a lot more, and tomorrow we'll be focusing on young people in agriculture. Gen Z will be in the building to talk about their role in agriculture. Until then, do have yourselves a fantastic evening. My name is Violeta Ngina, or the International Mukulima. Goodbye.
Pole kwa majukumu.